I'll talk about the move here to Tbilisi, Georgia. If you're like me, meaning you like living around other Europeans, and before we talk about Europeans, we have to define what it means to be European. You come from that lineage. Ancient Greece, ancient Rome, they spread out through Europe. So if you're Australian, European, Canadian, European, from the USA, European, there's a certain look. They are mostly white. So if you're Russian, Ukrainian, Italian, Croatian, and Anglo Celtic like me, all right, or like my daughter, sorry, or like our family, because I'm Italian, Croatian, and Anglo Celtic, you are European, and that's how people are going to look around here. And so for me, living around here, although I do prefer culturally how an Eastern European lives compared to an African or an Arab or most Arabs, because I really like how Emiratis live, it's actually not that. It's got
Mm.
nothing to do with the religion because over there in the Emirates, they're Muslims, and I like hanging out with those guys, even though they don't follow the book
Mm.
literally. And these people are Christian Orthodox, but I'm not religious. It's not really that. It's just the aesthetics. I just don't want to look at Indians and Pakistanis nonstop anymore. I don't want to look at it. I'm well aware that they serve a necessary role in the world's productive ecosystem. Many of them are great CEOs. In general, I don't have any negative experiences to report with Indians than I do another race. I mean, I've been scammed by all sorts of brokies. And yes, some brokies are going to be Indians, Pakistanis, Indonesians, Asians, but it's not that. I just want to live around people that look more like us. Very simple. I mean, honestly, if everyone around here looked like you, I'd be like, nah, I don't want to live around all these Iranian cunts. I don't want my daughters to live around all these people who don't look like her. They got darker skin than her. It just is way easier for her when all the kids, literally all the kids at the playground, look like her. And she notices the difference. Yeah, I know because
Yeah.
she played with the kids in Dubai, in Nat Al Sheba. She was outcasted. And to be fair with you, in Nat Al Sheba, the women in their abayas and their children, they don't really want to mix with the random blonde girl and her daughter there. Anyway, fair
Yeah.
enough. I figured it out. I was like, fair enough. Like that's their culture. And then when we go to Indonesia with all the mixed Indonesian and African and mixed kids, it's the same thing. You know, it's just
Mm.
easier, bro.
What would you say Australia is? Because when we went to school, we had Asian, Black, Indian.
I don't mind a bit of diversity. And I'll talk about a bit what that means. 10%. So I want 90% of the class to look European, and then I want that diversity. The token black kid, the Asian kid, Hendra, Tuitia, or whatever it is.
Hendra.
Radin, we got Radin, we've got a little bit of that diversity and it's fun and it's funny and it makes for a fun day that you've got 10% diversity. And that's kind of how Australia was 10, 20%. Now, depending on your suburb, it would be more white or a bit more Asian, but overall speaking, you still got to see heaps of Aussies. Yeah. Now it's getting to the point where you walk through the CBD, or influencers do. They come to Australia looking to see Australians, and many of them are posting videos like this. Where are all the Australians? They don't realize
Mm.
that, some Australians are being offended by that. What they mean is, why does everyone look like they're from India, Pakistan, Africa, and the Middle East? And I don't want to live around that, me personally. Now, a lot of these kids that people think are immigrants are born in Australia with Australian accents, meaning they look fully like they're from the sub Sahara. They look African, but they speak with an Australian accent. Yeah.
Mm.
And then someone like that, an African or an Indian or a Pakistani or a Chinese looking person will say, well, your father's from Croatia. What about you? You're an immigrant then. I'm like, yes, but we're all European. There's an
Mm.
enormous difference between the Croatian Anglo-Celtic guy and the African Anglo-Celtic guy. They visually look very fucking different.
Mm.
That's what it is. It's all aesthetics. And someone's like, well, that's racist. And I'm like, well, call it what you fucking want. Call it racism then. I don't care. I'm not trying to harm African people. I'm not trying to harm Indians and Pakistanis. I just don't want to live near, mate. So I
Mm.
left.
Uh, Miss Hendra, by the way, good lad. Hendra,
Good
good
lad.
lad, good
He was
lad.
Chinese.
Very. Was he Chinese?
He was from the Han Chinese variety, whether he was from Singapore or
Got it.
Indonesia.
Got it. Or
You know
Malaysia.
the yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know how they all pretty much are the same. Those light-skinned Asians that whether
Yeah.
they're Indo-Chinese or Han Chinese in Singapore, they're virtually the same type of people.
Yeah. 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 Now, something else I want to talk about is the Middle East.
Hmm.
Mate, I wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, we're good, ceasefire, we're close to making a deal. Then I wake up the next day, bombs are exchanging fire. Like it's literally one extreme to another.
Is the narrative one extreme to the other, or is the actual situation one extreme to another? Because I argue that the narrative that you're reading on your phone is one extreme to the other, but the actual reality is, to me, very obvious now. Very obvious.
Well, well, like you said, I don't have binoculars strong enough to look at the Strait of Hormuz and see what's going on, right? So, what is it so obvious to you now?
It's not about what they're saying, it's about what they're not saying. Machiavelli taught us that. If you have a look at the obvious ideological difference between the Shia in Iran and then the Sunni who aligns himself with Israel, the USA. The difference is so obvious that how on earth can you expect, and you're Iranian, so you know this better than most, how on earth can you expect for a deal to be made after what's just happened? All right, I'll give you an example. You're in the
Sure.
IRGC. Your father, let's say your father is the Ayatollah, the most respected man within that culture, the closest person to God, even. And then Trumpy and Netanyahu just drops a bomb on this cunt's head and then goes, look, what do you reckon about making a deal? You guys give us a bit of this, we give you a bit of that. And it's already an existential crisis for you. And they killed your father and the supreme leader of your entire generation. And then you honestly think they're just going to say, yeah, you know what? Enough's enough. This is back up. Bro, they have a much higher tolerance for pain than an American does who's at home in Miami living la vida loca, who doesn't experience any of this. So at what point do you honestly think the IRGC will back down now that they've had some steam? Now that they're like, oh, we didn't get taken over. We hit hard the GCC. We hit other parts of the Middle East. The USA and Israel teamed up together and couldn't shake us. We're going to back down now. Fuck off. Bring it, cuz. Or, or we'll stop if it's in our best interest to do so. And that would mean pay the toll over here at the Strait of Hormuz, UAE, or any of you guys. Build your own pipeline if you need to. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Attack your critical infrastructure. But there's no way that we are getting the short end of this deal, the short end of the stick. We're getting the better deal. You guys are proposing us that you guys get the best deal, thinking that you guys think we're nothing. There was this interview as well, bro. It was in New York, Wall Street guys, like young kids, 25, 35, whatever. Not kids, but young enough. They all thought Iran was nothing. They're like, oh, fucking, there's nothing, bro. Fucking USA, USA. They're deluded.
Wow.
They got no bombs. Where the bombs coming from them? You know what cunts say? Oh, false flag. False flag. Everything's a false flag. Okay? Believe that then. See what happens. Believe it.
I just came back from a wedding in Morocco, and I think they said to me there was 12 billionaires, 50 centimillionaires.